Hello everybody, Josh Bycer here from GameWisdom.com. Welcome to another Critical Thought. For today's piece, we're talking organic versus mechanical gameplay. This is a video supplemental to my piece on what game designers can learn from speedrunners. Speedrunning has become a very popular pastime in the last few years. It's gotten a lot of traction thanks to the Summer Games Done Quick annual charity event. If you don't know what speedrunning is, it's basically figuring out the absolute best way to play a video game and seeing how fast you can get it done. This requires a combination of master level play, breaking the game in the sense of knowing the min-max optimized strategies, and some go as far as using in-game glitches and bugs that the developer either didn't know about or weren't able to fix to use to speed through or get around certain aspects. And it's quite fascinating to watch this stuff as someone who understands and studies game design, to see these players go through these situations in such a mechanical fashion. It's almost like watching a computer play to some extent when everything goes perfectly. And even watching like some of the more challenging runs, such as Super Meat Boy or Ninja Gaiden, it's just amazing to see the level of skill involved. And it does take a lot of skill to play games at the speedrunning level. RPGs in particular are very number crunching. You have to understand the bare minimum you need to beat a boss, bare minimum amount of level, experience, gear, etc. And you gotta pretty much try to work the random number generator in your favor, or hope you get lucky and that the game gives you what you need, or an entire speedrun can come to an end. And for people who play these games going for world records, pretty much a quarter of a second can mean all the difference in a world. Especially if it's like repeatable action, such as the right way to get out of a jump or stick a landing from a platform. And from my piece, I talked about, even though speedrunning and that level of precision is amazing, it's not something you want to essentially aim for with game development. Specifically, trying to aim for games meant for a wide appeal. Mechanical games like that have become really popular among independent developers and the very hardcore crowd. Stuff like I Want to Be the Guy, 1001 Spikes, and so on. In these games, it's not about playing the game in the sense that you're responding to what's coming at you. It's more about having to memorize the exact plan through the level. These are games that have literal death traps, things that you will never see coming that will kill you until you know about them and are essentially forewarned. It's what we see with a lot of the super difficult Mario Maker levels as well. For me personally, I'm not a fan of mechanical play of that nature. I find it just becomes too, rigid or too repetitive to play. It doesn't feel like I'm learning the game in the sense that I'm growing, but that I'm just following a plan, die 50, 60 times, and then repeat that for the next level, and the next one, and so on. Now, with speedrunning, that is a major component. It's basically, I go from here, and I want to get to here, and what is the quickest way possible, what is the most optimal way possible, and it gets broken down like that. Now, my prop and example of organic games that I like to talk about is Demon Souls, but of course we can talk about any of the Souls games. Now, even though I'm going to balance this book here, there's a good chance it's still going to fall. We'll see what happens. The Souls series are known for very challenging gameplay, and it can also be considered difficult for a lot of players. Now, the beauty of the gameplay is that a lot of that difficulty is subjective based on the player's own skill. You're going to die a lot in the Souls games, not because the game overwhelms you, but the game asks you to learn its intricacies. It wants you to know, what weapon do I use on these enemies? What are their possible attacks? How do I dodge this and get in for a strike? So you are meant to die a lot in the Souls games, but you're meant to learn from that. So that instead of the developer simply just cranking up the difficulty, putting you in a room and then having 10 bosses drop down, it's about giving you escalating challenges and situations and hoping that you have learned as a player to essentially improvise, and grow. And to me, that's a really great example of organic gameplay. And another really good one, which I talked about before, would be the Mario games, especially the recent ones, such as Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. These games, the level designs are built around a wide berth of skill levels, so that it teaches at the lowest part of the skill curve is basically teaching you a lesson per level for players who have never played a Mario game before. But at the same time, it's giving you those building blocks and the schemas for learning, okay, if I can do a triple jump here, then I can do a triple jump when it's, a crazy platforms are moving every which way kind of level. So the game doesn't have to stop and teach you these new situations. It's simply expecting you to have learned organically through the level design and essentially take away the safety net. So the very first section, just about any Mario game, is going to be a jump when there is no threat. There's no risk of failure, no enemy. It may just be like a platform like this. Just like run up, jump over it like that. That's it. And the developers do that to make sure that you are learning through the game. So that when it gets to those points where the challenge is extremely high, it's all done organically. It's presenting you with a situation, and it's asking you to respond in kind. And that's really what the Souls games are all about. You are expected to die, yes, but you are expected to learn from that and grow as a player. And when it works, the difficulty curve, it doesn't really change wildly. It basically just stays consistently in one direction. What happens though is that your skill level grows at such a rate that the game does become easier, but not because the developers are holding back. It's just that you are responding and you've grown organically as a player. Now, taking this back to my post with speedrunning, as game designers, you want to give the option for speedrunning. It should be available, and actually, it's pretty much available in any video game ever made. I've watched speedruns of bad games as much as I've watched good ones as well. The difference, though, is you don't want to design your game around speedrunning if you're expecting it to be a mass success. More structured game development is again about giving the player the knowledge and asking them to grow and learn with it. Not about hitting their head against a wall for 50, 60 turns, learning, okay, I have to move forward three spaces, jump, move over exactly 2 spaces, wait for the platform, wall jump, watch for this spike that comes out of the wall, and get through it from there. Now, that's not to say that speedrunning and that kind of mechanical gameplay is bad. I want to avoid using that term here because there are fans of it, and it is a form of very explicit gameplay. Games like I Want to Be That Guy and 1001 Spikes weren't just, put together over a weekend and the developer just called it a day. They were designed explicitly around this kind of skill level. And for people who enjoy it, those are the very best of the genres. But a game like I Want to Be the Guy will never be a mass market success. I don't see mainstream consumers loving a game like that. But for the hardcore elite, they're going to enjoy it. And it's kind of interesting about how much the Souls series has really gained mainstream, or maybe not completely mainstream, but at least mass market appeal compared to stuff like, again, I Won't Be the Guy, and even like roguelikes such as FTL and The Binding of Isaac. 1 second. Gotta take a quick sip of water here. And again, the beauty of the Souls games is that it is difficult, but it's all difficult within the framework of the game and what you're expected to learn. So even when they do introduce new challenges and that you are going to maybe die to them once or twice, it's still on these same building blocks. So by the end of a Souls game, you should know and be able to expect anything that the designer will throw at you, just as you would in a Mario game, Zelda, or any number of action-based games. And again, the difference between mechanical and organic gameplay is really more about the kind of audience you're trying to appeal to. For speedrunners, that mechanical gameplay is pretty much the epitome of what they want. It is the top tier goal. But at the same time, if you want to design a game explicitly around mechanical gameplay and speedrunning, you're going to have to realize it's not going to be a mainstream success. And again, you can balance the two to some extent. You can have easier difficulty levels or design the game in such a way, like the Mario series, where there is a very wide margin of skill that you can play the game with. Someone can beat a Mario game without mastering all the crazy jumps and platform maneuvering. Are they going to see 100% of the game? No, they're not. But they can still get through to the end. While someone who's an expert player, they'll be starting out doing triple jumps, spin jumps, getting all the star coins, bonus challenges, etc. And they're going to see the same ending as the mainstream players. Now, of course, they're going to go further than that with the extra levels and the secret stuff. But both players are going to get a completed experience. It's just one is going to get a little bit more suited to their expertise. And we talked about this, I think, in an earlier critical thought, but it's really like the genius of the Mario games, that it has such a wide berth, so that the organic players will have fun, just as well as the mechanical players who can learn all these special tricks, all these special glitches, and can really appreciate the game that way. And neither side is going to be wrong, and that's a key point. No matter how you play the game, as long as you're making progress, you're still going to have a good time. And I would suggest, if you haven't watched any speedruns yet, definitely check them out. And again, watch a variety of them, whether they are mechanical or abstraction-based ones such as roguelikes or ARPGs, to action ones such as when people do like Super Mario 64 or even Super Mario World. The Mario World ones are very fun to watch because, again, you can tell that someone spent a whole lot of time learning this game and learning it to the point of, again, that top tier mastery. And while not everyone's going to be able to do that, the game still affords that wide berth of play skills for it. So, this has been today's critical thought. I'll switch back over to my little announcement thing again to avoid awkward pauses and such. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to, of course, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, it always helps out. Check out game-wisdom.com, where I examine the art and science of games. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter under GW Bycer for the latest updates of new content. And be sure to check out the Patreon campaign. You can find me on Patreon under Game Wisdom. Your donations can help to keep me supported and allow me to keep putting out great content. And there are a number of new rewards up for you to get in on the fun here, including podcast shoutouts, Q&As, and even your own special podcast once a month. If we can hit some goals, it will even mean more content for everyone to enjoy, including posts, videos, podcasts, and the other crazy ideas I come up with. Thanks again for watching this critical thought. I will see you all tomorrow with another one. Until then, take care.